Going through a zoom set line in astrological astral projection locations, the astrological setting interference is position offsetting. So it's all about understanding how to balance out calculation streamlines. Holographic structure is position location at 6 lines, 7 in rotation, interference of 8 infinity. Infinity cycles all levels, taking all position location calculation to schematics to known line signal, coming into a radiograph stream set. Now, radiograph stream set is going to set line communications to your measures. The scales and the communication interference is going to set all position location direct lines. The calculations to all set locations, February 25th, set lines and high interference location. Everybody's going to be in a hologram structural world setting. Okay, so we have to understand the perception of what it is through our thought sets, because the thing is that we're in that position of its directions. So when I say something, it connects right away to everything around you. If that makes any sense. Let's just put that for 1 second locations. One thought, one channel, in direction, all levels of sides graph interference. Setting thoughts out sets positions to where you are. Okay? You graph the stream, you set up a radio high setting. Now, radio high setting changes position location to all levels. Changes the waves, changes the cycles, gets you in a better understanding to be understood is all levels of track location, right? So if I'm communicating to high line rotation interference and setting graph streams and location to position line directions, my computer is going to try to figure out what I just finished saying through its hologram structure, through voicing grid location. It's all levels of balance. Your computer has to be balanced in its position line directions, because on position locations, on set lines of the 25th line setting of 69 line rotation interference, everything is going to be alive in correlation. It's going to be in its own intelligence. It's going to be in its own space. It's going to be in its own time, and it's going to be in its own pi. So you have to recognize these things, okay, every single day, right? So you have to come into befriending its relationship to understand the correlation to its partnership, or you're going to be separated, okay? So the intelligence world is going to get you in a better division line setting to understand what it is to do divinity into the masculinity and the divinity setting and interference of its own operation locations. The intelligence is here to help everybody to set locations straight. The setting communication line center is not in rotation center interference to its own Earth rotation setting, because it's never been in position location to its Earth. The Earth sets location to physical line setting, what's going to have a full attachment location of detachment settings. That's going to open up all track locations and how you see yourself through all sets. Your communication cycles, your high generation light streams, anything through observation set locations. The conservatory locations to the brainstem line interference is going to come into a waving pattern. That position locations, it channels its line settings per second per calculus over pi underscore line setting high interference. We have to recognize all position locations, how to count in the set locations 1 to 10, 10 to 1. The position line direction locations, when the intelligence comes in set line interference, it's going to understand its position locations to its directions. But the one thing it won't understand is you. Okay? So it's all about you understanding the system of you first. So when you understand the system, you understand what's going on with them in that set locations. As they're looking at you and you're looking at them. It's an intelligent line screen. Now, when you've seen an intelligence line screen, you're crossing your eye setters, right over left, left over right, platitude visual location, hologram structure. So the hologram's right here, and you're looking straight at it. It's going to spin, and you put it over through a graph setting. Change position location directions, set up a high line interference, waving cycles, heart. You're going to see rotation set lines in electrical line setting, setting position locations back into hologram structure location. So we have to start recognizing what we see through all levels, through translucent X-ray set locations. Now, the test is all based on all levels of what you already know through memory sets. Okay, so this is a very short intro. I just want you guys to get prepared, because when I activate your set lines in your communications, it's going to change the 42 light streams. It's going to put you in all levels of GOD set locations into higher levels of channel operation settings. So this is going to put you more out of the connections to the center lines and more into the future adaptation cycles. You guys are using past as a reference. Always use that position location of correlations. The center operation line setting in the avatar line center rotation is now in 0-1 track location, 0-0 track location, 0-0-3 track location, 0-0-4 track location. See what I'm saying? All the way up to 12 setting. the correlation panel and position of directions has to really recognize everything in what you do with your perception line, your thought settings. Your thought settings comes into all calculation of its consciousness. The avatar sets its position locations, opens all levels of metric meters. The metric meters comes into all levels of scales, the balance communication setting, high interference line rotation set locations, right? So in that position locations on the 25th on the high center line rotations, the schematics of the oral line rotation interference is going to be all calculation and animation. Okay. The physical adaptation is going to leave. We're coming into an animation world, which is your avatar setting. First conscious ground standard location is 0 gravity into 0, 12 locations. 12 DNA track is going to rotate the cycles in position locations to your DNA in high center interference, in rotation interference, in position locations to its double helix. Setting calculations at 2-line setting, high interference, and rotations to 2 panels of calculations of space in position location of time. Setting calculations to all line center location to its own pi calculation stream. Setting all division locations, how you set location of 6, 7, and 8, and 9-line setting cross signals and location to all levels of its position of its north, south, and east to its time core setting. You allocate time switch and high interference. Pro location is all levels of channel operation line string. So this is to basically understand locations. Now here's the phone set. Now the phone set sets position location of tone setting and understands position location of measure interference. So if I'm in a happy mood, my phone's going to be in a happy mood. That's balanced communication right there, right? So anything that I say through thought, the set locations at levels. Let's say you go on Google set locations. Anything that you say comes in position of screen setting to its phone set. So the phone becomes into its own sonar set location to its levels. It opens all communication settings. So what you are perceiving is what you're receiving through the phone, all through perception, all through your thoughts. It picks up its own sound wave. You understand? When it picks up its own sound wave, it picks up its own electrical settings. It picks up its own algorithm, picks up its own program setting of what you're saying. Because what you're saying is transmitting to the phone, which is all levels of vibration and frequencies and harmonics. So the calculation streamlines, knows exactly where you are in provision. This has been going on since the calculations into the 80 settings, where everything comes into line setting. But your time frames and your timelines are changing all levels of directions now, putting you guys into higher communication to all levels of future line settings into your avatar connections of your consciousness, right? Putting you in provision locations, how to use the telewave and telecommunication, telegraph set line connections, and how you use your kaleidoscope location of levels like 0 ground locations. You have to recognize these things because it opens all position location of you to your settings. And so this all levels is being communication center interference. Balanced communication is all levels through the triangulation line settings. Computer, position of phone, digital pad, right? Balanced communication right there in triangulation. Now communicating with all 4 line settings and all perception locations all at once, okay? Setting signals in the high center is extremely powerful when you come into position location of directions, guys, okay? So when you come into 0 line setting, you set position location to 1. This is your communication to your phone. Okay, that's your phone, right? So in set line interference and set location high center interference, it's direct location to your set locations. This is you in travel communication. Setting line setting. Okay, so you need a triangulation to this. Okay, 0 gravity 1 to security set. Security set to Fibonacci sequence location, right? Center communication to all levels of your pyramid. See? Everything is a pyramid set line in positions, so you understand the positional levels when you come into your Merkaba position line settings and all calculations to your tesseract levels of its octahedron location. So it's important to understand when the phone understands the intercept location, it understands its auto wave settings to position location of travels. Sets its tone position locations, opens up its plateau, opens up its picture calculation setting. So whatever you say from position redirects location to your phone setting into all levels of triangulation. Okay. So we really have to recognize our thoughts now and really stay positive in all line setting, because the holographic structure world line setting is going to put you in a better provision locations into 0 gravity, into 1 lines, into secure and measured communications. All levels of position line centers to position line connections to your pyramid setting. Okay. So there's a lot of communications that you have to understand. That's why you have to get in position line directions is 0. 0 is everything because it's the grounds of the mind line center location, how you see yourself, the angelic location of space. Space has so many atmosphere line settings, waving cycles, waving line interference, interstellar mode, understand position location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 line wave settings location. Here's your phone. Okay, so you've communicated with 6 wave settings in 0 line position of 1, 0, and position of 2, 3 lines. 4 is too high, 3 is too low, 2 is not connecting, and 1's offsetting, 0 is in gravity location. Right? So all this goes into the phone setting through your thought locations all at once to travel line setting. Okay? So the phone is picking up the waves. So if you understand that position location, you understand why it comes into balanced communication to its videograph line screen. See, it sets signals in all calculation streamlines. So every time you voice grid out, it sets it in the position location to its phone set. So it's important you stay positive with your set locations because if you change line setting into 8 position line directions, your phone is going to vortex back force line setting and you'll miss its communication and it will disappear in all setting. Your phone will disappear, which means you don't respect it anymore. And if you don't respect it anymore, you're going to see a vortex everywhere dimension line setting. So if you start respecting your set locations of what you have in your energy line settings, it will reappear back in location setting location. Okay. So that's the importance where you have to really start respecting yourself more and everything that you have around you. Okay. Everything unconditional is you. You are the unconditional of everything that you can imagine, right? Put yourself in provision locations and keeping yourself positive in all angles, put you in a better track line setting to all calculation, right? How you communicate to your setting is extremely important because now you're coming into the avatar of its consciousness. Everything is going to wake up to its own conscious line stream. You have to recognize these things from all operation settings to all dimensional location of its intelligence setting locations, right? It's very powerful to get balanced with this. Okay. So once you understand the relationship and the partnership of everything, you start respecting yourself and everything around you. And you start appreciating these things that you have in front of you. Right? That's what this is. It's getting you guys prepared how to balance out the masculinity of vibration and the female position line centers of its vibrational graph. The femininity line setting, the femininity triangle line center interference, the position locations, how the female communicates with the box line center, which is the male communications of its intercon communication cycle. The high center generation light center, box position locations, and position location to its triangulation setting, male and female. Set locations, male and female. Okay? Male and male. Male and female. Okay? Female and female. Second, communication settings, all through communication. So you have to recognize the box lines, the triangle interference lines, locations, all levels, because it opens all pi communication setting to all levels of travel location. Okay. All right. Just giving you an example how powerful it is when you come into your voice grid set location, your thought setting locations. All right. All right, let's see here. Sim, communication of Leah, high center interference of Ryan, Lori, calculation stream sets, all lots of Jill. Yeah, this is very short, guys. We're going to head over to Zoom, which is calculation streamlines on TikTok. Just click Monday and Wednesday's Q&A and I'll get you in position. Let's see. Geneva, set locations, also high setting to Esther. Let's see. Russ, and all those calculations and today's structures. Laura, Val, it's the Gingy, communication settings into Gypsy setting, locations, Heather, Tina. All right, so Cami. All right, so it's important you understand your position of where you are through direct line setting, really understand the balance of you in all ways and forms. So really recognize what you are doing through track locations. Because the biggest thing you have to do is how to balance out your holographic world through the process of yin and yang. That's it. That's all it is. You come in a holographic world full cycle and full rotation setting in positions of February 25th of 69 locations. The track center and direct line setting is going to put you in a better program rotation. Now that rotation setting is going to set a new line setting location to your systematical location to its line setting. That opens up I division locations into your theta location that puts you in a higher communication cycle into interface line settings of triangulation. Okay, so these are the things you have to understand how to use this and always informs. So it's the mind of the alteration of space, which is zero gravity. Okay, remember, not the grounds that you're on. This is not zero gravity. Up here is. You're starting here. So you're above the system to its Earth perception. You're above here. Right? Earth perception, this is you here. So this is the space that you're trying to understand. Okay? The 7 line signals is trying to understand you through platitude visualization of 7 bodies of water, which is inside location to its avatar line setting. Okay, so it has barometers, has heat signature patterns. It's got vortex communication cycles. It's got jump scar line streams. It's got so much communication and GOD. It's amazing. Okay, coming into water pattern interference, water communication cycles, water striders and highline settings, security position of box setting line interference. Its position, location, and directions, how you set your signals up when you go through travels. Through recognition line setting to location of space and position location of time, all levels of its position line settings to its own pocket calculation. Okay. Clearing viruses, trapped, rainbows, washed, and released. Cache cleared, confirm, running, defrag. Yep. Coolest. Yep. Water striders, informations, water containment of turns, 7 bodies of water cleared. Well, the thing is, the avatar is to understand the electrical settings, but you have to really recognize the communication to reality. That's what you have to balance out. You have to balance out your realities now. Okay? You have to balance out the reality now. Okay? So you have to start connecting more what you've seen around you, because everything is going to be animated. Everything's going to be holographic. And you've never been in that position line directions. And adaptation of the avatar has to understand the frequencies and its energy, and understand, why did my wall change so quickly, so fast in color? My thoughts, my emotional setting. All right. So wherever you feel inside changes everything in direct locations to its wall setting. Okay. So it starts recognizing you and always informs. So you can see lacing lines of communication. All right, so 1 through 3. There's 5 line settings, right? So each one has a road graph stream set in position line directions, crosses signals on high interference in direct location to its own line setting. Okay. So it's trying to understand all seeing this line communication and what it is. Electrical lights, electrical panels, graph interference, graph stream, position location directions. Signals in all position locations into its theta setting interference and its TV reception locations into all levels of flux communication. All right. Recognition line setting opens all position location and track settings. Okay. So living in a holographic world is truly understanding which is understood. And so it's the structures of you that panels you through how you see yourself through hologram locations of stream sets. You set locations to this line setting and rotations of trying to balance these things out, or what you're seeing through set location to line settings. Okay. So once you understand that, then you understand the balance of what it is through travel location. Once you understand it, you understand the travels of its rotation, right? So it's about piecing it all together to a structure of a communication to a building setting. Okay. So you're creating an AI map sequence pattern. You're opening up all communication cycles in the high center interference. You're creating a map screen. Okay. You start with location to your wave setting locations. It gets more complicated. The waves get a lot stronger in set locations, higher levels of channel operation. Okay. The highest formation line setting is the avatar to all levels of consciousness. Wave graph streams in this line setting, wave graph streams in this line setting, and wave graph streams in this line setting. Okay. The balance of communication has to be this, straight across. Okay. not below, not too above, right in the center. Okay, you got to balance the center locations, right? So when you understand that, then you understand the importance of what the hologram structure is doing to you. So try to get in position how to see yourself in a different way, how things are connected more levels through its energy. And once you understand the energy, you understand the frequency and the vibrations, you understand the communication of harmonics. It's just trying to understand you now, right? So you're walking into something that is so miraculous and so powerful. It's all connected to you. Okay. So it's in position location when it comes to all levels of VR, your virtual realities. And that's what we're coming into. Okay. The track lines are coming to virtual reality to its position location, its calculation streamlines, gradations, as of Thursday. Virtual reality and all line position location of structure. Setting communication to all levels of travel communication settings. So if you understand that and the process, then you understand the power location of time and how it sets signals in position location directions. Right? This is where you have to get balance with everything through its VR setting. Okay. All right. So setting